Davidson and rapper Jack Harlow were hired to interview notorious YouTuber turned fighter, I guess, Jake Paul in his locker room right before he was about to engage in a fight. Now, Davidson knew a thing or two about Jake Paul and clearly was not a fan of Jake Paul's. And there's good reason not to like Jake Paul. He's been caught up in all sorts of awful controversies, including getting raided by the FBI because he had illegal weapons in his giant Calabasas, California mansion. He also kept throwing giant parties in the middle of the coronavirus pandemic, angering his neighbors who were concerned about these super spreader events. And when he was asked about it, he called COVID a hoax and also said that he's not the person who's going to sit around and not live my life. And his brother Logan Paul was also in headlines after he went to Japan and made fun of people who had committed suicide in what's known as, there's like a forest where people go and hang themselves, and it's actually incredibly tragic and awful. So they've been in all sorts of negative headlines, and Pete Davidson didn't hold back by letting everyone know before he even spoke to Jake Paul what he thought of him. He also said something hilarious about the guy that Jake Paul was gonna fight, this guy named Ben Askren. He said, "Tonight we have a bout between Ben Askren, who I don't know who that is still, and I've been reading up on him all week, and Jake Paul, and they both suck, but at least somebody's going to get hurt." Now, Davidson is supposed to do this pre-fight interview, but he actually was more interested in roasting Jake Paul, and that's what this looked like.
I also had questions about your robot. So is that a guy that works for you, and how involved is he? Like, is he around all the time?
No, that's a real robot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Team Paul, baby.
He also said this about Jake Paul right to his face. "You remind me of Charlie Sheen when he went on his winning tirade." And then he asked a question about sexual assault allegations against Jake Paul. To give you background before we toss to this video, I do want to let you know what those allegations were. So TikTok star Justine Paradise had made these allegations against Jake Paul. Jake Paul has vehemently denied them. On April 9th, Paradise posted a 20-minute video called "Trigger Warning, Jake Paul Sexually Assaulted Me," in which she claimed that Paul forced her to perform oral sex on him in July of 2019 in his Los Angeles home. Now, since then, and by the way, she's planning on filing charges against him. Since then, a second woman has come forward and she has claimed that she was also sexually assaulted by Jake Paul. She claims that when she was 17 years old, he had groped her, and she basically fought back against it and he ran out of the room. He had been running some sort of thing from his house where YouTube creators all lived there and created content, and he would get a 10 to 20% cut of that. And so she was part of this. Her name is Rayleigh Lawley. She's 21 years old now. She's an actress and model, but she just shared her story with the New York Times. Now, with that context in mind, this is the moment between Pete Davidson and Jake Paul on the issue of sexual assault.
What I was gonna ask you about, I was like, so how are you feeling like? How you?
Bro, you can't joke around about that.
No, I'm not. No, I'm like, are you good? Like,
I'm good, bro. I'm good.
Totally good.
What's popping with that? Nothing.
Right? Yeah. Okay, cool.
So you can't hear him asking the question there. They censored it, probably because Jake Paul didn't want the question to be in the video. But Paul called the allegations 100% false, and his attorney said in a statement on April 13th that Paul categorically denies the allegation and has every intention to aggressively disprove it. I don't know how you go about disproving it, but okay. And pursuing legal action against those responsible for the defamation of his character. So he's denying it. And I think that the allegations against him should be investigated and taken very seriously, mostly because of the character that we've seen from Jake Paul up to this moment. He does not seem to be a very good person. But with that said, Pete Davidson then moved over to interview the person that he was gonna get into a fight with, a fight match. And that moment was pretty wonderful as well. Let's take a look.
You know, so it's like even if Jake Paul's a decent fighter, he's still a bag as a human being.
Exactly.
Yes.
And that's what we're trying to get, the message to the kids is that he is a piece of
Pete Davidson really doesn't like him. And his problem with Jake Paul is that he has this massive young audience, young people following him and feeling inspired by him, influenced by him. And when you really take a good look at who Jake Paul is and what he's teaching young people, it gives you good reason to not be so in favor of this guy.
Yeah, so look, I think this story is really complicated. So first of all, I don't like anyone involved, to be honest. So Jake Paul and his brother, they run this house, Team 10. I don't know most of the details, but I do know this: they're in the attention business. They're trying to get as much attention as possible. So do they cross the line sometimes to get that attention? It certainly looks like it, right? And so there are real concerns about Jake Paul, and certainly these assault charges should be taken very, very seriously. Now, it doesn't mean he did it. It means the authorities should take them very seriously and investigate and find out, right? But I got to be honest, I didn't like the way Pete Davidson handled it.
I loved it.
No, all right, well let's talk her through, okay? Because one of the things he said to me was I was like, that's it, okay? Or one of the things he said in the videos, when the guy that Jake Paul was fighting said, "Oh, he's a celebrity, right? He's a bigger celebrity than I am," and Pete Davidson was like, "Whoa, no. The real celebrities don't like him." Okay, screw you. Because that's him saying, I'm on TV. I am a celebrity. I'm on Saturday Night Live.
I'm fine with that.
Okay, but Jake Paul, who is much more popular, you could hate him, but he's much more popular. You are not a real celebrity, even though millions of people follow you. You're not a real celebrity because you're not on television. Okay, whatever, right? So, and they do. Davidson and everybody else has this attitude of, I don't like all of these incredible mega stars online. They don't count because they didn't get picked by some douchebag gatekeeper and get put on a TV show. So yeah, if you're saying, hey, Cenk, that sounds like maybe, no, but look, on the other hand, so yes, we started on YouTube. Yes, we're predominantly online, but I've hosted a couple of different television shows. So I've done both. Let me tell you something, TV ain't nothing special. So you just got picked by someone on TV. Online, and I got picked by someone, so I can tell you without bias in that regard. Whereas online, we built something organically. So now the Pauls did too. Now they did it in ways that were sometimes unsavory. Yeah. But that's not why the celebrities are mad at him. The celebrities are mad at him because they think, oh, how dare these guys be more famous than we are?
I didn't get that sense from Pete Davidson. And his quotes, I agree with wholeheartedly. He's not a good person, and he's clearly not a good influence on any of the youth culture, Davidson said. And Askren, that's the other guy that he was fighting, agreed. He has this, and I love this statement. He has this whole following, so he thinks he can do whatever he wants. And didn't he get busted by the feds with AKs and a bunch of machine guns? Like, why isn't he in jail? That's the reason why I'm willing to let go of whatever he might think about YouTubers. Who cares? Because that statement is 100% correct.
I know, but at the same time,
the only people, this is the problem that I have, right? Whether it's famous people on television, YouTube, Facebook, I don't care what the platform is. I have a huge problem with bad behavior getting rewarded. I have a huge problem with very specific people in a very specific demographic constantly failing upward. And that's what Jake Paul is. That's what Logan Paul is. What do they do? I put myself.
That's not right.
What do they do, Cenk? What do they do? What does he do? What's his content?
Okay,
I watched an hour-long episode of whatever garbage he does. What's the talent? Like, what is his skill? What does he do? What does he offer? He does pranks and stupid stuff like that.
No.
Anyway. And so it doesn't matter
disagree.
if he has illegal weapons. But let me ask you something. If authorities, if the feds raided the home of a black person, not even a celebrity, anything like, just a regular black person who's there's some suspicion that person has illegal weapons. They're not just raiding for illegal weapons. They're going in guns blazing. And I'm not saying that I would want that in the situation with Jake Paul. I'm just saying that I'm tired of seeing bad people get rewarded for their bad behavior while simultaneously influencing young people in the worst possible ways. And yes, I know this sounds very like old lady, get off my lawn, but he's a grown man. He's not 16.
Yeah.
And there are some pretty freaking serious allegations against him.
So I agree with you completely on the allegations. I agree with you on how other people would be treated differently. That's why it's a complicated story, and that's why I said in the beginning I don't like anybody involved in this story. But when it comes to Pete Davidson, he says, he thinks he's famous, or he has a lot of followers. He doesn't even call him famous.
Who cares?
No, it matters. It matters.
It doesn't.
Okay, hold on. Let me finish my point.
Okay.
He says, he thinks he can do anything he wants because he has a lot of followers. Then what does Pete Davidson do? Anything he wants. He comes in, he's invited to that event, and then he craps all over them. Why? I'm famous. I can do anything I want. I'm on Saturday Night Live. I'm on television. I can charge you with things that haven't been proven at your own event, and I could make fun of you, and I could say you're this and you're that, and I could make fun of all of you guys, even though you paid me, presumably, and you invited me here. That was a mistake because I'm famous. I think I could do anything I want, and I could criticize you. I could do anything I want. Remember, Pete Davidson in trouble before, also attacking Republicans, right? But also saying anything he wants. Why? Because he's famous. So please spare me the double standard, okay? And then in terms of you saying, what does he do? Anna, we do a relatively serious news show, right?
Yeah.
So people can understand that, and that's good. And so I'm telling you again, without bias there, because I don't do stunts and pranks, and I don't like them, okay?
I'm gonna make you watch a show.
Okay, that's fine, and I'm probably gonna hate it.
Yep, you
okay, but a lot of people don't hate it. So to say, well, I do declare I don't like why you're entertained by that. Okay, that's like your opinion, man. But they are entertained by it. They are, but we think it's illegitimate because no, it's young people. We don't understand young people. A lot of people think I'm serious. And it's online. So no, what does Pete Davidson do? Dumbass jokes on Saturday Night Live.
Jake,
dumbass jokes. Well, why is that funny? A lot of 88-year-olds would be like, Saturday Night Live, why is that funny? I don't like that. That's not funny.
I would argue, whether you like Pete Davidson or not, I would argue that being a successful comedian is actually pretty freaking difficult.
But Pete Davidson is a lot less famous than Jake Paul.
I don't care about the fame level of anyone involved in this story.
No, but
I don't care about it at all.
What I don't like,
let me be clear about something. Let me be absolutely clear about something. First of all, if people think that we're like whatever, peons or losers because we do a YouTube show, F off. I don't care. It doesn't hurt me. I'm not intimidated by that. It doesn't make me feel bad at all. I don't need their validation. I feel pretty damn good about myself. That's point number one. Point number two is, God damn it, I lost my train of thought.
Sorry, but I'll jump in. Look, Jackass.
God, you make me so mad sometimes.
Was Jackass any better? No, Jackass sucked. Okay, at least from my perspective. But do I think Jackass was not entertaining? Well, obviously it entertained millions of people. That's why it did really well. And the old school said tut about Jackass. But at the end of the day, they actually still respected all those guys. Why? It was a movie.
I'll tell you why.
It was a beloved movie. So then it's okay and it's legitimate.
Yeah,
okay?
Jackass was stupid, but I see Jackass as different.
No, it's not. It's not at all different. Jackass was the same moronic stuff. I remember when they thought it was super funny to go prank their dad while he was in the bathroom and then show him freaking out while he was going number 2 in the bathroom. And yes, kids find that funny. I hate it, but kids find that funny. But if you do it in a movie, they're like, bravo, you are so famous and wonderful. You do it on Saturday Night Live, you are brilliant, Pete Davidson. You do it on YouTube, oh no, this guy, he's no good, he's illegitimate. So I'm not buying it. People are entertained by it. You can't deny that. You can't say he has no skill. Who cares?
And Republican lawmakers are entertained by endless police shootings of unarmed people. Like, I don't care what people are entertained by, and that's not what I'm trying to discuss here. The problem is, and I know that you can certainly relate to this, after all of the scandals and criminality that this guy, that's the difference, Cenk, the criminality, okay? He has illegal weapons in his house. He has sexual assault allegations against him. And investors are like, oh my God, take my money, 3.5 million here. Like they fall over themselves because there's a specific type of person in this country that always repeatedly gets rewarded for bad behavior. That's the problem. That's the difference.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
But Anna, on that, I agree with you. All I'm saying is have the same standard for everybody, okay? But we don't. We have different standards for people based. Look, last thing I'll say, yes, you can say, hey, Cenk, you claim you're not biased, you are, because your network is online. That's fine, I don't care what you think, okay? But see, the thing that actually got me really mad about all of this to begin with, not the Jake Paul stuff, but the disrespect that Pete Davidson represents from stupid old media, is how Mr. Beast is treated. If you don't know Mr. Beast, he is a giant on YouTube. My kids love him. He's not accused of doing anything wrong. The guy has he got like 50 million subscribers in like a year and a half or something. He's unbelievable, right? And how many other people in media cover Mr. Beast, who's one of the most famous people in America right now? Zero, none. Mr. Beast, he's online. You would beg and steal and cheat to get 50 million subscribers, okay? So the people in old media are losers, total utter losers. Oh, you disrespect? I'll disrespect back. You guys are losers, okay? So you get jealous of these people, and now some of them are bad guys, like the Jake Paul and Logan Paul, okay? But a lot of them are good guys, but they're treated all the same by the smug asses like Pete Davidson. That's my real opinion.
All right, I did not expect the story to go in that direction, but we do have one more video, I can't help myself. Jake Paul did not like the way he was treated. So I don't know, maybe Cenk, this will give you a little bit of relief, okay? Here he is venting about it.
It was my idea to like have him as the host of the event.
He talked to me, he wants to do all of the rest of
that guy. He won't do he won't ever be a part of one of those ever again. He this up, bro.
Bro,
Maybe he'll go to work for Dana White.
So I was confused.
And I hate this is like the problem with like drama and because it just brings everyone more clout. It brings him more clout.
Well, he got clout, bro. He got clout.
Exactly, but it's like just that guy.
Make me sympathize with him more. I look at that guy. I think I would never hang out with that guy. Okay, those chains, the watch, whatever the hell that thing is. Okay, he's not for me. Okay, but the core of what he just said there was actually smart. I'll even say it was smart. So he said, why did Pete Davidson slam Jake Paul? Because Pete Davidson wanted the attention. And how did he slam Jake Paul? For saying, oh, you want attention and you do crazy stuff like doing these fights and doing it at your house, etc., to get attention. Well, Pete, why'd you do it? Why'd you do it? You did it for attention. So please spare me your moral high ground BS. So everyone here is guilty. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.